future. All right. Awesome. So I'm going to jump into my presentation. I do want to say just my style in general is I'll do some presenting in here. And then if there's questions that pop up that aren't covered in my slide deck that I have here, we will at the end just pop it and we'll be able to look at things live. So if you have questions about things, we'll jump into my Facebook. We'll look at some of the different features. We will look at it anyways because I want to teach you a little bit about a scheduling tool that they have for Facebook right now. So if you wanted to schedule posts ahead of time, you can use that. All right. Just give me a second. Awesome. So we're talking about Facebook page strategy in today's lesson presented by me. So my story is that I was a student actually at GCC about 6 years ago. Actually, Michelle, I had known Michelle pretty well from the business club I was a part of, and also had a class, an HR class that I took with Michelle. So I actually had my first experience 6 years ago with social media, where for the business club, we put together a GCC Entrepreneur Shark Tank pitch competition. We did it 2 years in a row. So that's where I first got my experience in social media. And since then, I've worked with 20 different local businesses. And currently I do GCC social media, and I'm going to be running monthly workshops like this so that I can help educate staff and faculty about how to use social media well. So one of the things, there's two themes that I always pull back to, I think in all of my presentations when it comes to social media, is connecting. We want to figure out how we connect with our audience that are out there. And we're going to give examples of that today. The other thing that I don't talk super extensively in this, that does apply to GCC, is community, trying to wrap in content to show how it supports the community. So we'll talk about Facebook page settings. We'll talk about Facebook page branding, organic growth strategies, the golden rule, and timing and consistency today. All right, so really important Facebook page settings. So we have the about section. We have story, so your story as a business. We have call to action button. We'll talk about the cover, image, profile, picture, and sharing. Because that's one thing that's really, really important. One thing that's powerful with Facebook is they give you a lot of analytics tools. So you can get to know your audience. You can get to know when your audience is on. You can get to know what your audience is resonating best for your posts on there, but you don't get that analytics feature until you have at least 100 people who like your page. So that's where it gets into sharing. If you're not at that 100 people who like a page yet, where you won't get the analytics, that's how we're going to get those numbers up. So today is going to be a beginner to intermediate lesson on social media. But again, if you have any questions or anything, definitely throw them out there and I can answer them as we go. So first, one thing that's really important is the description. Now, the description is kind of like a tweet where you don't have a lot of space for it. You have 255 characters that you can put inside of your description. I see a lot of businesses, when it comes to their description, they'll talk about their mission, they'll talk about some of the services they offer, or why they're a solution, what they're doing that's unique. Another thing that's really important inside of this, making sure you get all your settings together so you can optimize your page, is categories. So Facebook allows you to up to 3 categories that you can choose. What it helps is just for you and your page to be indexed properly. So if I had just put social media agency, this is for my business, Empowered Social Media. So if I had just put social media agency and someone had typed in marketing agency in Western Mass, I might not have popped up for them. But because I have social media agency, marketing agency, and advertising and marketing, I have the opportunity to be seen by a larger audience by having those selections in there. So for the about section itself, it's really short and sweet that you're putting it together. You can talk about mission, services, or the problem you solve. And again, we want to utilize those 3 different categories. So we're just talking about how to optimize your page, and then we'll get into content production. So story. There is a number, which I don't know what it is. It's less than 100 likes that you have to have before this feature gets unlocked. So if you start a page right off the bat, this feature might not be available to you. It's a story where you get to talk a little bit more about your brand or your page or what your page is about. Where on the other end of it with the description, you have 255 characters, you have all the space that you need inside of your story. So sometimes people do an origin story. So talk about like, where did this page or where did this department come from? Why is it a thing? Or they talk about their, what brought it to today, what's happening now, and what's their vision for the future of this. Or they go even further into saying their story now, vision, and then talk about some of the services they offer inside of it. But this is a bigger opportunity for someone who doesn't know anything about the page, anything about the department or a business. This is a great place for people to get to know more and to be authentic. And this is what I put in here, is you want to be authentic. I know when we're representing a college level that we want to be very professional with the materials we put out there, but we don't, and I want to put the caveat in there is if you're overly professional with content, it can stick out in someone's newsfeed in their time where they will skip over it because they feel like it's too dry or it's just another business advertising something in there. So when we're creating content, as we'll get to later on, we want to be authentic with the content. We want to be conversational with the content we put out. So this is just a lot of people I've worked with struggle when it comes to, all right, how do I even unravel my story? Like, what does it even mean to have a story? So I have this, just a slide that I usually send to people who are struggling with that. There's just some different prompts along the way, thinking about like, how did I get to where I am? Well, what were you doing before? This is, these concepts are for personal brand, but they're also for a business brand or a business page. So these are just some different ideas that we have available to us. And after this, I will also, so this is recorded right now, I will send everybody the recording, and I'll also send everybody the slide deck. So if they wanted to see more information about something in here, they can do that as well. So you don't feel like you have to rush to write things down. All right, another feature of the Facebook business page is going to be this call to action button. Now, with a call to action button, there's tons of different options. So if you've ever looked at it and you're like, what do I put in there? It's really easy to get lost. It's really easy to get confused and then to feel overwhelmed in it. So as we see, if we click that to set it up, there's options like contact us, sign up, send message, send email, call now, WhatsApp. There's third-party integrations with booking tools, learn more, there's shop. There's a bunch of different tabs that are options for buttons that you can use for this. What I say is we generally want to have, the first contact is more of a soft contact. So what I say for that is I will say that people should either choose a send email, a send message, or a contact us, where it'll give them the opportunity to go to a landing page where someone can contact you in the future. I think that there's an option for call now, which is I see a lot of businesses use, which feels like it's too intimate of an experience too quickly for a lot of people. If they see that call now, they won't choose to do that. But if you put send email or contact us or send message, because you're using the same medium that they found you on, then it's much easier to connect with somebody right away. So those are some basic page settings that we're going through. Now we're going to talk about the branding side. So we have the profile picture. So the ideal size for a profile picture is known as a square image, or 360 by 360. A lot of businesses, or most, will either choose to put their logo in here. They'll choose to put a team picture in here, or they'll choose to put a picture of people who are in their community. Maybe it's an event that they had in the past or somebody who uses that specific service in the past. You'll put that in here. For GCC, it can definitely be difficult if the department you have doesn't have a specific GCC logo. So that's a situation where you may not go with a logo if it just blends in because everybody's using the same logo, or you'd want to use a team picture in there. Over here, the second part of this is your cover image and video. So this can be really difficult, getting the right size, because if you were to Google right now, what's the ideal size for a cover image, which is the first thing that if someone lands on your page, they're gonna see in here. The problem is that there's different sizing for mobile as there is for desktop view. So if you go and you select the sizing that it says for the desktop view, it may come out funky looking, or it may actually crop things out when someone views that on mobile. So right here is a really user-friendly 820 by 312 is a user-friendly for both sizes, whether it is the orientation they're looking for on mobile or it's desktop, that it works best. I do also want to say in here that, I mean, this is a great opportunity to show team. This is a great opportunity to show people who are being affected by the services, like the good outcomes that you've seen in the past from the services or the department would be great in here. If you do have access to video, when I say video, it has to be that landscape type style video. Facebook says that it is going to get you better visibility, more page likes, and overall reach of your brand if you have a video in here. They don't say specifically why. That is, I think it's because it's when someone lands on the page and you have a video, it's just generally more engaging for somebody. They're gonna stay a little bit longer. It gives them maybe a little more intimate experience with your brand or your department. And I think that's why it pulls people in a little bit more. So there's also the vanity username. So if you start a page up, day one is not gonna have anything under this @ It'll just say @ and username in here. So there are a significant amount of businesses or pages that don't do anything for here, so they leave this @ empty, or they don't use, which I say in here, key terms in it as well. So maybe it's the same brand, so you may be for GCC alumni was on here yesterday, so maybe it's GCC alumni @ GCC alumni, or GCC alumni and foundation. We're putting in there. We're looking at keywords that represent your brand or your page inside of here. It just gives you another opportunity to be indexable. So it gives you an opportunity to be searched. So if someone is searching for a specific thing in Facebook, the more things you have lined up in your branding to what you represent, the more indexable and searchable you're going to be. All right, so again, to get into that, the analytics side of it, which we'll take a look at today. So we'll actually get to see some of the GCC main Facebook page analytics. You have to have enough people who like your page. So we're talking about some general sharing strategies that you can use. So when you go onto your business page, you're gonna have this share under here that you can click. That's gonna pop open a box. It's gonna say share on your timeline. And then you could write a message about why it's important for someone to follow that page. And then once you put in a message why, then you can post it on your timeline. So that's level one. Now level two is inviting people to like your page. So if we go back a second, there's the share. Right next to the share is going to be 3 dots. It's kind of blurred, you know, it's behind this arrow right here, but there's a 3-dot button that you're going to click, and then it's going to ask you to invite people to like your page. So level 2 is inviting friends, or inviting your friends. When I say friends, doesn't mean it has to be essentially like a good friend of yours. It's just a friend that you have on Facebook. You could be inviting on here. So general second level strategy is picking people and then sending them an invite, and then having them like your page to get to that 100. Now the next level strategy in here is going to be sharing. It's a custom share that you're doing. So when I hit this share, invite to like, I've created a custom message in here. So I'm saying specifically why. I'm inviting you to like my local business Facebook page so that you can support my journey as an entrepreneur. Or I'm inviting you to like this page because I'm this person in this department and I think it's really important. Or I'd love for you to follow our page because I think this is something that could really benefit you. So we're putting in a specific reason why they should like it, but then we're also choosing this option, which is fairly new, which says also send each invite in Messenger. So once we click into it, we draft this message, we click this button, and then we'll select how many the people that we want to invite to like this page. So we are having some strategy behind it when we're inviting people to like the page. It's not just inviting everybody to like the page. So we're inviting people who we think this could be really important to. So if I'm the admin for the alumni page and I'm friends with someone who I know is an alumni, I might invite them to like the page because it really makes sense for them. So we're inviting people that we think would have interest in the page. A secondary strategy would be inviting people you know that are fans of yours. Maybe you have people who engage with your content in general on Facebook or social media. Those would be great people that you can invite to like the page as well, because they may be people who are more likely to engage with the content in the future because they know that you're going to be part of that content, generating that content. So one thing I do want to say about this, when you do check off this invite people through Messenger, it's going to increase your likelihood of someone actually liking the page, because the open rates on messages through Messenger is over 88% right now. So if you send someone a message on Messenger, they're going to open it and see it. When you just send a regular invite, not checking this off, it's going to pop a notification in their Facebook. They might click it, they might just disregard it, they might not see it in there. So this is a direct message to them. But the reason I'm saying any hesitation to this is that every time I have a business do this, there's somebody who connects back with them. So you're looking to increase your brand and get more people to like your page so you can get analytics behind it. But if there's somebody on there that you don't want to have a lengthy conversation with, then I may not invite them to like it, because what happens sometimes is sends them a message over there and they're like, oh my God, I haven't talked to this person in forever. So then they try to engage you in a conversation and catch up out of it. So that's the only reason I say that, is if there's somebody that you're like, oh, this person fits into a fan, this would be great. I think, resonate with the content, but, I don't know if I want to really get in a long conversation back and forth with this person because this is what it could create. Then you may decide you don't want to invite that person. This function in here, also said invite to Messenger, is only up to 50 people at a time. So you can't just click this and then invite your whole list of people. You have to do it up to 50 at a time. And when you do this selection, you have to select it first and then select up to 50. If you accidentally select 51, this check mark is going to vanish and you're going to start over again. And you got to take everybody off and then click it and then click everybody to invite and then send the invites again. So we talked about some branding. We talked about some strategy. We talked about some basics of the page. Now we're going to get into some of the different growth strategies that you can use with your page. So another ways to connect, another ways to grow how many people like your content. So we talked about inviting friends to like already. Like content as your page. Like other pages as your page. Mention your page in other conversations you're having with people. So if you're sending an email to someone anyways that is inside of your department, then that's a perspective who may want to use this, want to be on social media or get up-to-date messages on what's happening in your department, then that would be a great place to put that in your emails and then be consistent with content. So if I want to like content as my page, I could either go to a page, or if I'm in my news feed right now, on the bottom right-hand corner, we're gonna see this arrow down. This is me in here. If now this is Wild Roots Cafe. So if for me as a business strategy is I'm trying to find other local businesses who may wanna use me or use my business for social media services to get my name out, what I can do is I can click that and then select my business page instead, and I can interact with the content as my business. So I can love it as my business or like that content as my business, and then I can also comment off of it as my business or as that page. As your brand, you can do that. So this could work if there's another, let's say that you wanted to network with another organization. You're like, oh, like I really want to work with this organization in the future. We have no connections with this organization in the future. So that might be a great way of starting. You're connecting by looking at their content, liking their content as your page, maybe commenting as your page as well, so that you start to create, you know, a connection or conversation over social media ahead of time as a way to bridge some of that and connecting with people. So when you do that and you like, they'll be able to see that you liked the content as the page. And then inside of it, when they see the analytics, and if they click on this to find out how many people liked it on their page, they see who did, it'll show their business pop up, and it'll say, it'll give them the option to like the page in return out of that. So like a page as your page is another option that you can do. So back to this, you go to, you know, whatever business page you're looking to network with in the future. There's these three dots that's next to the share that we talked about earlier. You click that. There's that option like invite friends that we went through before, but there's a like as your page option. So you can click that like as your page option, and then it's going to ask you to select so you have to select which page that you're liking from inside of here. So I'm doing it for Empowered Social Media, but you would just select your business page and then you hit the submit button. And so what that does is just sends them a notification that lets them know that you like their page now. And just a different way to connect with them. And then, like I mentioned before, in email marketing, we want to use that opportunity to follow us on. All right, so we're talking about the golden rule. So now we're talking about connecting, we're talking about content now. There's three different types of content that we want to produce. It's inspirational content, educating content, or entertaining content. So let's go through some different examples of that. So inspirational content. Here we have a picture of a student, and the student talked about their story and talked about how they're able to bring together their love for art with also helping other people in here. So this is something that would be inspirational content. We're talking about one of our faculty members who has these amazing experiences or these amazing things that the faculty member can share with a class that they're teaching in the future. So these are ways to see the story of a person that can be inspiring. Then we have education. So education is educating about your program. So with GCC, we talked about the Mountain Scholars Program. We're talking about early childhood education. And then we also talked about some of the differences in tuition costs between us and a four-year college. So we're just educating about our program. And then entertainment. This gets into, this is something from Eve when I first started that I loved. And this over here has to do with the GCC graduation parade. So it just gives them something, and I like video content a lot, and that entertainment aspect of it gives someone a different look inside of your brand. So we're gonna talk about post timing. So I'm going to start off with post timing, and then I'm going to show you a little bit about what that means and how you can actually use that. So when you're producing content, you want to produce that content you want to put that content out between 7 and 10 p.m. at night. So what I want to be clear that when I say that is that it's not that you have to stay up and you have to put out your content between 7 and 10 p.m. every night. But what you can do is use some of Facebook, and I'll show you today, Facebook's scheduling tools so that you don't have to do that. You could do it at 6 a.m. in the morning, and then you can use their scheduling tool to put that out between 7 and 10 p.m. at night. The reason this is because a lot of people, before they go to bed at night, they look at their social media. When they wake up in the morning, they look at their social media. So these times work in with their natural rhythms. So we'll work into, I'm actually going to pull away from the presentation quickly because I want to start showing you some of the different things and show you the analytics, what that actually looks like for your page, and then I want to also show you the scheduling tool. So I'm just going to stop the screen share for a second. Great. I'm going to go back into it. Excellent. All right, great. So I'm going to go to the GCC page. So at the top of all pages, you're going to have these different options up here. The two options we're really most interested in are the Insights and then Creator Studio in here. This is where it's going to actually allow you to schedule your content ahead of time. So we'll look at publishing, we'll look at Insights just quickly. Great. So Insights is going to give you a lot of information. It's going to let you know how many people liked your page, how many people you've reached, your engagement in here. So it's going to let you know those different things. But what I think is the most important out of it is if we go to posts, it's going to actually let you know when your audience is on. So if we look here, we can see, all right. So I do want to point out that the way they set it up is based off of Pacific time zone. So everything is 3 hours later than what you're seeing on here. So if I'm thinking about when people are on, I can see 354 people are on generally, 900, we're coming up. This is people on social media so that they can see your content. So right here, which is, it's 5 o'clock, it says here, but it's 3 hours later for Pacific time, 8 p.m., we get 2101 people who are on generally at 5 p.m. So we can see based off of here, the analytics, what's the best time to post, but then we can also see what are the best days to post. And then we can also see on those specific days, when are they on? At this one, it's 8 p.m., but this day, as it shows up at that 6 p.m., it's 9 p.m. That's going to be peak on this day. So we're trying to line up things when the most people are on. So we're reaching the maximum amount of people with our content. So that's a little bit into Insights. But the really cool tool is Creator Studio. Typically, what you have to do is you have to click the More button and then choose Publishing Tools. And then you have to choose, you can go to Creator Studio right from there, or the Creator Studio is on the left side. So inside Creator Studio, it's going to give you some more analytics on what's going on specifically with video. But what's really cool about this is that when you create your posts, is that it's going to allow you to schedule it. So in here, there's a share now, but then there's a schedule button that now allows you to do. It'll open up a prompt, and then you would pick, all right, I'm going to schedule this for Friday night at 8 p.m. inside of here. So you would create your content like you would normally. You'd put in whatever you're having. You'd grab an image. It would load up, and then you would find the day and time that it matched for you. So that's pretty much everything I have for today. We will, in the next session, build off of this. And I also am going to start to talk about Instagram a little bit more, because inside Creator Studio, they also give you the opportunity to schedule posts to Instagram. But now would be a great time if anybody has any questions to ask away.
So Jamie, I have a question. Are we, you may not know this, but are we now being expected to manage to set up Facebook pages for our department and manage them? Is this the direction the college is going in?
So from my understanding, we support, the marketing department supports in that setup of it, but it is the department, if you choose to have a Facebook page, then it's the department who has to manage it. For me, the way my contract works is that I do these coaching sessions, but I also have opportunity for follow-up support. So if a department's like, oh, we got this set up and like we're really struggling with this, can we have like a 30-minute meeting where I'll set up and talk to the people in the department and can give them some specifics and say, all right, this is what you want to think about. This is the type of content we want to put out. And we would give some support in that.
Okay, because I think I mean, I see Martha's online, and I wanna bring this back to the department and see how we want to proceed.
Great.
Okay,
I do. So I do not have the pro version of this, and we have 1 minute left. So
Okay.
It is going to wrap up in a minute. If you do have any follow-up questions, please feel free to email me. So I can give it up for one more question if we have it. And if you do and we don't get to it today, please feel free to email me. After these sessions, I usually have 3 to 4 people who reach out to me and say, hey, Jamie, I need a little bit of support. And then I schedule a time to meet with them or their department.
Thank you, Jamie. This was great. Thank you very much. I'll be in touch.
Awesome. Thank you for coming, Michelle.
Good seeing you.
Good seeing you too. You're very welcome. All right, I will send a follow-up with a recording on this and then the slide deck. And I have some recordings on how to set up Facebook groups too, if you're interested in that, and also how to use Creator Studio as well. So I have some other resources for you that will come along the way. Awesome.
Great. Thank you.